Good morning, my people. Thank you for clicking this video. This is going to be a very quick and unscripted review of the PD151 Plus and the PD140, which I'm going to show you in a bit. To keep things simple, Vaxi spent a lot of time building very good pads like this. This one and the PD140, which I have on the left side of me, are by far the most quality pads I have ever used because we're all been used to buying like artisan pads, which are very good quality as well. But on these ones, they have a 5.5 millimeter thickness, and they introduced a different layer at the bottom, which makes it very sturdy. For example, let me just show you how heavy this thing is. This is like at least 200 grams or more. Like it's very hard to move it. Like even if you play with low sense like I do, like mind you, I have 300 EDPI. I'm being completely serious right now. I actually do have very low sense. I like to move my mouse a lot. And sometimes on other pads, the silicone bottom was not good enough. So it would just like move along with my swipes, which was very annoying. Now, that said, this pad is going nowhere. Like it sticks to the table, especially if you have a very good quality table. Like especially the one I have is like from, how is it? Like the Magnus. It's called the Magnus. It goes up and down. It sticks to the table, like it goes nowhere. It's actually very good. And overall, moving the mouse around, this is a fast pad. I'm used to using mod pads the whole of my life, which we're gonna talk about in a bit. But the PD151 Plus, which is the 500 times 1 times like 510, I think, it's a more fast pad, and it offers you the ability to, let me show you actually in the game. It offers you the ability to do quick micro adjustments at the cost of you trying to stabilize your aim. And what I mean by that is, imagine you're a low sense player and you like using slower mouse pads. If you go to a faster pad like this, you will be able to do these micro adjustments faster, but you need to find a way to stabilize your aim when you are, at the top of the crosshairs at the top of someone's head. So for example, if you hold this angle and you flick here, you might have to micro adjust your crosshair again, or just start spraying because you're just not used to how fast the pad is. Okay, so one of the good things with the 151 Plus is its actual consistency. Now, mind you, I live in Greece. I live in the fucking trenches. And the weather here, the fluctuations are pretty big, and we have an issue with humidity and whatnot. So, as you all know, cloth pads have very big issues with surface consistency. And now, what I noticed the past like 3 or 4 days that I've been playing with this, even though it's like a very early time to judge, the surface is very consistent. Like if I play with my artisan pad, the Type99 Extra Soft, which is a complete mud pad, it's like basically unusable at this point. I couldn't use it. Like it was just impossible to play. But with the PD151 and the PD140, because the quality is so much better of the cloth, and overall it's a much better quality product, to be honest. The surface is very consistent. Like time will tell, but I have very big faith, even from the early days, that early days of me using the pad, that it'll be very consistent. So a big shout out to Vaxi for making this pad, and this one and the 140 have insanely good quality. Well, we're gonna go down and dive into the actual gameplay of CS and low sense and faster pad. So I'm gonna give you like a realistic scenario of a low sense player trying to like control his aim with a faster pad. Now this is a V4. This is a Death Adder V4. It's around like 55 grams or 60 grams, I think, something like this. So it's more on the heavier side. And imagine you're like on headshot, on cash, and you're waiting for someone to pick. And because you're used to playing with mud pads or like slower pads your whole life, and you switch to a faster pad like the 151, you will try to flick to someone's head, but you might over adjust. And what I mean by that is your tracking will be pretty good to his head, but you may want to readjust again because you're not used to how responsive the pad is to your movement. So this all comes down to your personal preference. And again, this comes down to like you need to train with it, okay? So in my opinion, like I really like slower pads. So switching to like 151 is like a big challenge, and I may even want to like change to a slower pair of skates, to be honest, to kind of like compensate for how fast this is for me at least, like because like the 170 is like much faster, like there's like more fast pads in the market. But again, this is purely your personal preference, and for me it's like a challenge because I have very low sense. Like keep in mind, I'm gonna show you how I do a 360. Now watch. Like this is a very low sense. Like I'm kind of retarded, but even on a slower sense like this, trying to do like a micro flick can be a challenge. And now with the speed the 151 has, I need to micro correct my aim even more because I'm not used to how fast it responds to my flicks. And let me give you like another scenario. For example, if we go on the A sides, right? And we're gonna hold this like silly angle. You need to be like very locked in with the pad to like not overflick, even if you hold like a tighter angle. So it all comes down to how actually good you are at the game and how fast you can adapt. And if you play with like a 40-gram mouse or like a 45-gram mouse, you want to go on the 151, you will be challenged. So you might as well just go for the 150, which is just a bit slower than the 151. And it's a more natural approach. That's how I would call it, because this one is quite fast for my taste at least. So again, you have to kind of relearn how you approach specific angles in the game, because it's not like PUBG. So for PUBG and Apex, the way you aim on these games is much more different, because in CS, like for example, imagine someone is hiding on like NBK and you're on T side. You want to have locked aim, so you know how to pre-fire him. Like you go close and you do like an aggressive crouch. You want to micro, like there's a chance you will micro adjust your aim, and because you're not used to how fast this is, you will probably lose the fight or just like start spraying because you just panicked, right? So on the other side, you have Apex Legends and PUBG, which is like more, I would say, lenient games to like tracking. They're like easy. They're not like that pixel perfect games, because in PUBG, like you lean, you spray, like they're not like SCS where you just like you have to do pixel perfect, shooting and movement. They're like much more tracking based games. Or like also, for example, although that's like a bit too much. It's not really a game, I would say, but anyway, I digress. PD151, both of them, 140, 151, have the same level of quality from Vaxi. They are extremely durable, and they don't itch your hand at all. So for me, I don't use a sleeve. I've never have. So I put my most of my hand on the pad itself. So even on like longer sessions that you want to do, this feels very comfortable. No itching, no nothing. For me, it's just perfect. Now, I would say, as I asked like Alberto from Vaxi, this will get slower over time. So you might want to like gamble on it getting a bit slower if you're not used to it. Maybe you think it's too fast like me for now, and I wait like maybe like a month, so it just kind of slows down a bit, and then I get used to it. But again, if you want to try something new on the faster side, don't go for the 151. Go for the 150 actually, the 150. So you're like more into like the balanced speed to control area, because 151, it's very easy to start a micro flick. Like if you like, let's say for some reason you hold this angle and then someone comes from the right, it's very easy to start the movement, like very easy. Even if you have like a heavier mouse, it's very easy to just move your mouse around and perform the flick. But you need to make sure you don't over correct your aim, because you're not used to how fast this is. Basically, you're not used to like aiming this fast. So you need to practice your pre-fires, you need to practice your aim, and you need to practice how you move around the map. Because, for example, if you want to pick, like, let's say you're on connector and you want to pick like the guy on like team meet, so you want to approach it like based on how you play, of course. let's say you want to swipe an angle, and because like it's too fast, you may like over move or go a bit too much on the left or too much on the right, because your movement and your aim like is basically tied together. Okay, so you have to practice your movement again, because your movement follows your aim. They're both connected, right? So this is the thing with 151. You need to play with it. Like you need to play with it. You need to get used to it. And overall, I wouldn't say anything negative about the pad. It's just the fact that it's not for my playstyle. Like I'm more like a mud pad type of a player. So I'm gonna show you how the 140 is now, so you can kind of understand the difference. I'm gonna put it here. Now this is, let me make this bigger for you guys. So this is the 140. It's the smaller size of pad. Shout out to Vaxi Alberto for sending me this as a gift to try it out. So thank you very much. It is currently out of stock, and it's basically the contrast of 151. This is a slow pad. So mind you, I'm a low sense player and I love mud pads. And I can say that if you give some time for the 140 to break down, it is actually so much more worth it than buying like another pad. If you like mud pads, again, they are two different pads, same quality, but this is much slower and this is like noticeably slower. Let me just show you let me show you the game. So for example, let's go back to the same angle. Let's say you want to pick the guy on like NBK. This gives you the ability to be more locked in just because of how much slower it is. So for example, you do a pick and you can see like your crosshair is like much harder to move against the 151. So on the 140, because of the nature of the pad, it's like slower, you don't have to do this over corrections, I would like to call them, because you're not used to how fast this is. So the 140 gives you more stability and more stopping power, while at the same time giving you enough speed to start the flick. So let's go back to B side, and I'm gonna show you the same example on a headshot. So let's say you're like a city side, you're holding like, excuse me, you're holding B main, and then let's say someone takes a swing, you have more chances of killing this guy because you won't overcorrect your aim like you would on the 151. And that is basically because of the difference of the pads, like, you know, obviously, right? So if you like fast pads, go for 150. Don't go for 151, to be honest. Be more balanced, in my opinion, at least. Don't risk for something too fast. Go for like the 150, but make sure to get the big size, okay? Like make sure to get, let me show you the camera. So let me make sure to get the big pad, because this thing is big, guys. This thing is big and it's sturdy. Like, can I show you my hand like dragging the mouse pad? Hold on. Like I trying to move it and it's so sticky, like I'm actually pulling it with force. It goes nowhere. It is very, very, very high quality, and the same goes with like the 140, obviously, right? So again, let me bring back the 140 to just kind of like show you the difference. Again, two different play styles, two different pads. Again, 140, it's much slower. You can like obviously understand it. And I think if you like mud pods, I think you should just go out of your way to try the 140. It's not a mud pad, it's a control pad. You can try its control pad, but it allows you to have some speed to like start like a micro adjustment fast. It's not like how much Type99 gets in like after 2 months of use, especially if you have humidity in your place. Type99 becomes unusable, especially if you buy the extra soft. Now, if you see this and you want to buy the extra soft Type99, like, don't buy it. It's way too slow, and it basically becomes unusable. Now, let me actually show you how it looks like at this point. Now, Type99 doesn't have a hard base. It's a different product, and even if like I've cleaned this like 3 times at this point with like, you know, shower and taking it to the bath and whatnot, it doesn't get better, guys. Type99 is much slower than the 140, but mind you, this is the extra soft edition. Now, if you want to go for a Type99 pad, don't buy the extra soft. Buy the soft or buy the mid. If there's like a mid variant, I'm not sure. And then wait for it to break down. And then eventually over time, it will get slower. So under no circumstances buy the extra soft, because I actually mean it. Like again, I like mud pads. Don't buy it. Go for like the mid or the soft version. Now, let's go back to Vaxi. Vaxi, they're both same quality. Again, this is much slower. And if you like control and you have high stance and you want to like a slower mousepad, the 140 is the way to go. Just wait for it to get restocked, to be honest, because like there's no stock left for the 140s anymore. This is the smaller size, like it's kind of a sample, to be honest. So just to give more thoughts on it, it's much easier to have control over your aim. For example, let's say someone comes in from the right side and I want to spray him for whatever reason. I have the ability to do so without overcorrecting my aim. For example, on the 150, which I'm going to show you right now, if I take the 150 and I do like a faster flick, I will most likely end up shooting the wall, because of how easy it is to start the movement and how hard it is to control it at the same time. So it all comes down to how much you want to train, how much time you want to spend into training with pads, and how much money you have, because it's a pretty expensive hobby. So again, 151, 140, extremely good quality pads. I would really suggest you look into the 140 if you like me, you like mud pads. Give it a shot, and then if you think it's too slow over time, don't change it, but get faster skates. Like this is what I would do. And if you have the 151 or the 150 and you think they are too fast, give them a bit of time. And if you think they're too fast again, switch to slower skates to kind of like balance the effect, and then you'll maybe you maybe get used to it. So in my opinion, don't buy very slow pads, because they tend to get worn out faster and they turn out to be mud pads in the future. So a big shout out to Vaxi for making those. That are very high quality pads, and I just hope they release the 140 back with the bigger size. Just to give you an understanding, this is like the 400. I don't remember the dimensions of this, because it's actually much smaller, as you can see here. It's much smaller. So again, what I also didn't notice on these pads is if I turn them around, oh, wrong scene. If I turn them around, I don't feel a difference in speed of axis. For me, playing like this, or flipping this thing around, it makes no difference whatsoever. Like I feel the same. Whereas on my artisan pad or other pads, it's actually quite noticeable, but it always comes down to the the staging of the pad and how it's made, to be honest. So that's it from me. I don't want to overcomplicate this. I think I yapped a bit too much. If you want to take a conclusion out of this, is try the 140 if you like slow pads. If you think it's too slow, get faster skates. If you want to go for a faster pad, don't go for the 151, go for the 150. Or if you want to try something faster, then just go for the 151. And if you have any questions about the pads, I'm gonna put the Discord link in the description, so you can ask me whatever you want. Okay. So thank you for watching. This was like a morning yapping session. I just like to keep things simple. So thank you for watching. And as always, if you have any questions, just hop on Discord and I will reply to you. So thank you, and God bless you guys.